Okay, so this is my Let's Play of Legend of Dragoon. This is obviously part 1 as you're watching this. I'm doing this live on Twitch. You can see the chat down below there, so you know what I will be responding to, as it said, and you'll also be able to see the lovely chat from everyone that's there. As of recording this, there are Twitch problems with the chat, so you may find that there's less chat than expected. If you want to watch me play this live, you can do so. My Twitch link will be annotated somewhere, and there will also be a link in the description. The recording is at the same time as being live, so if you want to be part of it, just come to Twitch basically. My Twitch channel is the same as my YouTube, the Borzoi, so just simply go there on Twitch and you'll get my channel. I don't have a regular streaming schedule, so it's a bit awkward for me to tell you when I'll be live, because I don't actually know. I can't think of anything else to introduce this, so we'll start as soon as this intro video has finished. There may be some times when I'm not talking, and I apologise for that, but I'm going to try and tutorial everyone through the game as I play the game. So, main menu, let me just double check the options. Yeah, that's fine. Right, new game. I am playing the European version. You may have noticed that from the copyright notice at the bottom of the page. And anyone who's played the American version instead of the European version will start to notice some differences in the game. I will point them out as they come up if I remember them. I don't know of all the differences between the games. I do know that one difference between the English, both American and European versions, and the Japanese version, and that's the item count limit. In the Japanese version you can get an item at some point which doubles your item capacity, so it's basically another pocket or pouch. By default you can only hold 32 items, that item doubles it to 64. But unfortunately in the European and American versions you can't get that item, so you can only have 32 items. I can't think of anything else to say right now. Does anyone in the chat have any questions about the game?
Great Commander, this way.
No questions have shown up. But then again, there's going to be some delay in me speaking and the guys watching this live hearing me. This isn't a reboot, Dave. This is the original PlayStation 1 game. I'm not playing a remake or anything. This is a PlayStation 1 game. Good to know. If you do have any questions about the game at any point,
Put her in custody.
just ask them and I will try and answer them. I've just noticed that Glowworm has joined the chat while I was talking. Sorry I didn't notice while I was talking, but welcome to the chat. You'll notice that the game is inconsistent with its borders as well. Like you can see at the moment it's got a black border at the top right and bottom, but you'll see that while I'm in the game that it's actually filling up that whole space. The battle as well, I believe, has a border on the right, so it's a bit inconsistent in its borders. As you can see, this game also has voice acting. It's a 4-disc game, for those who don't know. Partly because it has voice acting in some scenes. Coming up here is the first difference between the American and the European release of the game. You're right, the borders are in the overscan area, but the reason why I've got it configured like that is so that you can see the full image. Like you can see now, it's now flush up with the edge. I'd rather you see the whole image rather than a cut off bit in some scenes just so that everything is conforming. So this is the first difference. In the European version, Chapter 1 is called Serdian War. In the American version, Chapter 1 is called The War in Serdia. So it's only a minor difference. The story itself is the same, but that's a very minor difference. And the second difference is coming up almost instantly, actually. And here it comes. You'll see that they've used English, as in British English spelling, for words. See, rumour has a U in it, whereas the American spelling doesn't have a U. That's just a minor difference. I'm playing a real disc version, because I don't have the option of getting it on from the PlayStation Store. This game is not available on the European PlayStation Store. It's only available, I think it's available on the American PlayStation Store. I could be mistaken. So any Americans watching can confirm or deny that. Yeah, it's not on the European Store, but every week when there is a PlayStation Store update, we are requesting this game. And anyone watching now, I urge you to put pressure on Sony Europe to get this game on the PlayStation Store. It's a brilliant RPG. It's one which deserves a sequel or even a prequel. It really does. This part you don't control. Now, I don't know if this is true, but someone told me that in the Japanese version you actually control the character at this point and you have to run away. I personally don't believe that's true. I believe this is all automatic, like it is in the European and I believe American versions as well. But that's just what I've been told. Going back to what Jared said, asking about the discs, that's just evidence that Twitch chat is having a problem. So all I can do is apologise for that. It's not something I can fix because it's a Twitch thing, unfortunately. The music in this game you'll find is good, very good. Unlike a lot of RPGs, it doesn't just have one battle music. The battle music changes depending on the area, including the boss battle music. It's not uncommon for boss battle music to be different depending on the point of the game. You'll be able to see that in Final Fantasy, sometimes specific bosses have their own battle music. Gilgamesh, for example, has Battle on the Big Bridge. In this game, though, it has multiple battle themes, which are different depending on the area. Firebrand does look like a giant grasshopper, yes, but he's a dragon, just like in the game. He's the green-tusked dragon. It was supposed to look like tusks, but it looks more like a broken jaw, in my opinion. But yeah, it's the green-tusked dragon Firebrand. There are some mistranslations in this game, and some incorrect positioning of words, things like that. But overall, it's a really good game. I'm sure there are some glitches in this game that I'm not aware of, and some ways to speed through the game faster than normal. Welcome back, Joseph. Yes, it really is a dragon. I didn't write this game. This was Sony. Now, this game uses a timing system in the battle. You'll see that it's got a blue arrow above my character. I'll explain that in a bit. Now, I am switching the morph to short, simply because it saves a little bit of time. I'm keeping note on stay. Now, I'll go through some of the things here. Item is simply the items. You click use it if you want to use an item. In this case, I've only got 2 healing potions. If I want to throw away an item, I choose to throw, and list will just list all the items. You press triangle to organise them, to sort them. It's all automatic. Goods is like your important items. Armed is where you equip stuff. I currently don't have any extra weapons to equip. If you look at the stats on the left, you've got body, weapon and total. So body is the character's stats. So the body attack is 2 of Dart, who's the main character. So he's got a natural attack of 2. His weapon then adds 2 strength to that, giving him a total of 4. Then defense is the equivalent of all the armor to put together. You can see up here you've got the helmet, the armor and the leggings. They all affect the defense, the magic defense, speed, things like that. The magic attack is generally the helmet, whereas the magic defense is the boots. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken here. It has been a while since I've actually got to the point where that's relevant. That's just an accessory. The bracelet actually does nothing. It's like a dud accessory, just as a placeholder until you get one of use. Additions, is the game's battle system. And you'll see, I'll actually explain that a bit later when I've got a second edition. Replace is where you would go to choose your party members. I don't have any other party members yet, so I can't actually do anything. Status sort of shows the same information you can see within Armed, but it shows you that your magic spells as well, which you won't get for quite a while. This isn't Lightning Returns, so they're not all 500 years old. I forgot to set my controller to analog again. I do that almost every time I play a PlayStation 1 game. Okay, so it's coming up to the first battle, and I can tell you about the addition system in battle. So these soldiers of Sandora, basically I'm in Serdio. The country is called Serdio, but it's split into 2, I don't want to say factions, 2 principalities? I'm not sure what it would be, really. Yeah, the menus are pretty easy to understand. But anyway, Serdio is split into 2. You've got Sandora, which, as you can see, are being depicted as the enemy right from the get-go, and Basel. Those are the two. I suppose they are countries within a country. A country within a kingdom, I suppose. Think of how the United Kingdom has the Wales, and England and Scotland, etc. Something similar to that, but rather than a few countries, it's just the 2. Think of it sort of like that. That's the best way I can explain it. Onto the battle again, you can see that there's a bit of an overscan on the right there. Now, the way the additions work, actually, let's go through the whole battle. You can change the camera angle with R2. In most battles, there are 3 camera angles. In this one, there's only 2. Run, escape is obviously escape. You can't do that in this battle, which is why it has an X in it. Items, to use the items. I'll explain what Burnout does in a bit. guard to defend. Guard is actually very useful in this game. A lot of RPGs have a guard feature, but don't actually have much use for it. In this game, when you guard, you heal 10% of your health. So in this case, that 10% of 30 is 3. So I would heal 3 health. And at the same time, that halves all damage done to you until that character's next turn. Along with that, it also prevents any status ailments from afflicting that character until their next turn. Anyway, I'll go on to the fight now and show you the addition.
Yes.
So what I did there is the outer square was coming in, and I just simply pressed the cross button. On the Japanese version, I believe it's the circle button, as you would expect. As it overlaps, and he then does the second attack in the combo.
Yes.
Like so.
Double slash.
It's a very simple system, but it works well. After the next battle, I will get a second edition, and I can explain a bit further in the menu, the one that I said I would explain a bit later. Okay. That glowing white thing on the left is a save point, by the way. If I'm scrolling through the text too fast, do let me know and I'll try and slow down, because I do read a bit fast. Welcome back, Joseph. I see Twitch chat is being very painful today. Does anyone else have any questions at this point? And he dies. So the arrow above me as well, I'll explain more about that later on. Okay, so items, burnout. The way magic works in this game is it's done with items. So in this case, the burnout is the item. That does, as you can see, it's a fire-based individual attack, and it's got multi in brackets. Any item that has multi in brackets means that you can power it up by simply constantly tapping the X button or the cross button, however you refer to it as. You constantly tap that as fast as you can, and it powers it up until it unleashes the damage. You do get items which aren't multi. That's a single attack, so it will only attack one enemy. You do get attacks which attack all enemies as well. You should get your sleeping schedule fixed if you've got a job interview soon. By soon, you obviously mean Monday, because that's what you said. I paraphrased it to soon. After this scene, there's a hidden scene. Sort of hidden scene, I suppose. It's not necessarily a hidden scene. It doesn't add much to the story at all. And it has no effect on the rest of the game. It's just a small hidden scene. Well, good night, Jero. Have fun. Like I said, this is being recorded. It'll be up on YouTube. I'll try and keep it into maybe 20 to 30 minute segments, depending on where I can clip it. So he's obviously concerned about Shana. I do too, but the way the chits twat. Sorry about the swear word there. I didn't mean that. I meant to say Twitch chat. The Twitch chat, the way that's working at the moment it doesn't look like many people are going to talk. You're the only one talking at the moment, Jero. So I don't know how I'm going to cope with no one else talking. We'll see, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Twitch is dropping messages like it does every now and then. So this is technically the first boss. The reason why I say technically is it does play the boss battle theme, or one of the boss battle themes. But he's very easy. I personally wouldn't necessarily consider him a boss fight. But then again, this is right at the beginning of the game and you can't do any fights before this except for the other one which you have to do. So here we go to the battle. So I'm first going to take out one of the Sandora soldiers. Oh yes, elements. That's something I should cover as well. Every character, every enemy, every character has an element. As I highlight the enemies, you can see that their name bar has a different colour. So the Sandora soldier is red, but the commander is, while that is dark blue, the game constantly refers to that colour as purple. So you may hear me refer to that colour as purple throughout the playthrough, despite the fact that it's not purple. The red represents fire, so any fire attack used against that enemy, they're going to be strong against, they're going to take less damage. Water, however, is the opposite element, so does extra damage. With the purple, or dark blue, that is dark, the opposite of that is light. So they take more damage from light, less damage from dark. So going to get rid of one of the Sandora soldiers.
Yes.
The other one will run away. Okay, that's never happened to me before. The other one usually runs away before anything else happens to me. Now what I'm going to do is guard here to heal a bit of health, because I know the other one's going to run away. I could have attacked him and killed him, but the reason why I'm guarding is because he's going to power up now and then damage me. So I've halved the damage. That would have done 6 if I didn't guard. Now I'm going to pretty much go all out and attack him.
Double slash.
I have a general strategy which works for random battles, and that's when I'm in yellow, defend, like so. When I'm in red, use an item. Your health goes yellow when you're at 50% or less. Now, I know he's going to keep damaging me to make me yellow, so there's no point in me constantly guarding, because it's not going to do much. So I'm going to attack. His next attack, I believe, will take me down to red. Ah, he's healed himself instead, so it gives me another chance to attack. Here we go. There we go. Hello, LOD7. I did stream this yesterday, yes. However, that was a test run to check my configuration. Now, although I'm not in red, I am going to use a health potion, a healing potion, which recovers half of my health. Because I know that, depending on which attack he uses, he could end up killing me. Now, I believe this will do 7 damage to me. Okay, it did none. So that did more than I expected, so that would have killed me if I didn't heal myself then. You'll notice that the selector above the enemies as well. The selector above the enemies changes colour. Yes, you have made it to the very beginning. The Twitch chat, just so you're aware, LOD, or LOD, I don't know what you want to be referred to as. Just so you're aware, the Twitch chat is having problems, so some of your messages may not show up. Other people have been having trouble connecting to the chat. Some people have been seeing it say the chat is disabled, but I can assure everyone who's watching currently that the Twitch chat is not disabled for my channel, so you may have to refresh. Try bringing the chat up in the pop-up window. That may work. I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know. I'm going by what you can see down there. Yes, I got that, Legend of Dragoon, but I didn't know if that was a deliberate reference or if it was something else. I'm assuming you're a fan of this game then, LOD or LOD. I'm going to call you LOD until you give me a better name. I had just noticed that, I don't know if you guys saw, but the leaves were actually in this black border area just then. I've only just noticed that. Okay, so here's a small hidden scene. Doesn't add much to the story, but it's just a small one. They mistake Dart for someone in Sandora. Dart's obviously known in this town. Oh, okay. I didn't think any would come from there. I had a look at the board yesterday, and I thought this is going to be empty, but I'll post anyway. And then I noticed that all the posts were from within the month, and I thought, oh, it's actually a lot more active than I thought it would be. But I suppose that happens with classic games like this that go forgotten. Okay.